que quelqu'un peut me dire. Non, bien sûr, personne ne sait rien. Vous et moi, même pas. Inréglable. Et ouais, mais putain, là, toutes les fois où je commence, où je commence ce jeu, putain, ça me donne des frissons à chaque fois que je commence le jeu. Putain, quelle heure il est? Après, tu recommences. Quelle heure il est? Après, il dit autre chose. Quelle heure il est? Autre chose, et après, il te dit ça. Je ne serai pas là la prochaine fois que le jeu se lancera, mais c'est pas grave. Les jeux vidéo sont faits pour être joués en solitaire. Vous appréciez la solitude? C'est peut-être la seule information utile que j'ai apprise de vous. Bien, il est temps pour moi de vous laisser. Il me reste peut-être une dernière chose à régler, mais j'ai besoin de temps pour m'y préparer. Ce n'est pas vraiment ma description de travail, mais ça va. Peut-être que vous me reverrez. Fou. Peut-être que vous me reverrez si vous pouvez me trouver. Parlez bientôt. Fou la vache. Oh, ce jeu. Ah, il est chaud, hein. Il est chaud ce jeu. Ah là là. Bon, allez, c'est parti. Je vais voir dans les paramètres. C'est parti. Oh la vache. Ça fait très long. Ça fait longtemps que j'ai pas rejoué au jeu. Faut que je le désinstalle pour le réinstaller pour revoir.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Et on va avoir le choix. Vraiment. Entre aller dans une porte. Celle-là, le New Content. New Content. On va aller dans New... Non. Je sais pas. On peut aller dans quoi? Bah, allez, New Content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
C'est à peu près en fait comme une sorte de jeu d'horreur, mais en plus fun. Mais c'est quand même une sorte de jeu d'horreur en fait, parce qu'à chaque fois en fait le personnage bah il meurt. En fait tu reprends du début quand le personnage il meurt en fait. C'est pour ça que je dis faut que je le réinstalle pour le désinstaller. Faut que je le désinstalle pour le réinstaller parce que je sais pas comment.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Eh bah dis donc, j'ai même pas lu ce qu'il a dit.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Oh. Mais ouais, mais j'aime pas quand une porte elle s'ouvre dans ce jeu. Et voilà, on est enfermé. C'est parti. Airbags, tout d'or. C'est vrai que le premier jeu Stanley Parable, bah il est Ouais, il est lointain, hein, le premier jeu Stanley Parable. Ouais, il date de 2001, je crois.
Now, to be clear, I
Il date
haven't
pas
quite
de...
nailed down what
Je crois
exactly
qu'il
the
date de la
Stanley
PS2.
Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Ok. Ah, j'ai même pas lu ce qu'il a dit. La vache. Tiens, il y a écrit quoi là? Tout. En fait, il y a que écrit tout partout en fait. You are the scale. Noir. Oh là, on entre dans la... Pourquoi il y a un bus? Il y a quelque chose qui vient de tomber dans la maison. Heureusement, parce que je peux pas y jouer tout seul. À un moment, j'y joue tout seul, mais t'as un fou dans ma tête. J'arrive pas à jouer tout seul sur ce jeu. Wow. Pour l'instant, c'est joyeux.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Pour l'instant, c'est pas mal. Hein. Oh là, j'aime pas ce chiffre. Ok. En fait, le jeu en soi... Oh là. Oh là. Ouais, non.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Ok. En fait, le jeu, chaque fois que tu fais quelque chose, en fait, c'est en rapport avec ce que tu fais.
Jim. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, Staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim. Developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim. Rediscovering
Là, des
yourself
fois, il pète
through
un câble,
fringe
la voix.
religious groups as
Il y a,
Jim.
il y a un
And
moment, en fait,
finally,
où la voix,
dying a
elle
slow
fait
death at an
tellement de la
old
peine.
age, surrounded by members of your cult as Jim.
Elle
Do you
s'énerve
feel it in your
et
soul?
elle,
Are you
elle
really
devient triste, la
truly
voix, en
Jim
fait.
right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Non, il a disparu. Ok.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Ah, ça servirait à rien de... Je ne veux pas aller là, on va aller là. Ouais. On peut retourner dans le bureau là, je vais tapoter. Laissez-moi retourner dans le bureau, s'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît, laissez-moi retourner dans le bureau. Purée, ça va encore me rendre fou là. Oh. Non, non. Non, on va aller dans l'endroit le plus grand. Exit. Voilà, super. Waouh, ça c'est du vide. Ah, là tu tombes, c'est game over pour toi. Hein.
Oh, goodness. Stanley, this is very awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to both the exhibits for the bucket and the collectibles. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves both of them. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the collectibles and the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now. A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Alors là, le saut, je dois le garder avec moi. Ok.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
That really should be an award if it isn't already. You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Mais... Ouais, il y a tellement de choses. Oh là. J'aime pas les portes où c'est tout noir à l'intérieur. Elles font peur. C'est peur. Tu peux t'attendre à tout et n'importe quoi dans ce jeu.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Bon allez, c'est parti, on va aller... Je vais aller dans Enjoy. Bucket, j'ai fait. Staging. J'ai fait...
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the... well, we'll figure that out later.
Ah, c'est ça. That new. Bon bah c'est... Mais regarde ça. Regardez. Infinite Roll. Mais jamais je vais l'attendre. Jamais de la vie. Oh, on peut pas aller dans un endroit joyeux là. Soyez joyeux. Ouais mais il fait tout noir.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
J'ai toujours le seau avec moi.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Bon, allez, on va aller dans... Oh, la vache, je me répète trop. On va aller dans Infinite Hall.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know, I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Oh, j'ai failli retomber dans le trou. Bon, allez.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Ouais, maintenant je vais où? Parce que là j'ai tout fait. Faut aller dans l'épilogue.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
On a tout terminé. a tout fait. La voix. La voix, je crois qu'on a tout fait. Je vais retourner voir le bouton qui dit Jim. Il y est plus. On peut sortir. Mais j'ai fait toutes les exploits normalement. Infinite Hall. Free New plus Easy Trophy j'ai fait. Collectible j'ai fait. Et bah on peut partir. What the fuck? Ça m'a fait tellement peur.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Wow.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
What the... What the fuck? Hein? Quoi? Regardez là, ça fait plus peur. Mais quoi? What? Alors là, je comprends plus rien. Moi, je comprends plus rien au jeu là. Quel style cet jeu là?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427.
Ah, il y a des ballons.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
Laissez.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket.
Oh, il y a le bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it. Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these,
only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
En fait, je peux pas faire ce jeu en live parce que tellement de choses à faire.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Hey, yo.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
C'est quoi s'il remonte?
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Le saut, tu me dis quelque chose là parce que je sais pas quoi faire.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Ah là je suis un sbire en fait, j'obéis vraiment aux ordres.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again?
Ok, d'accord.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through
Oh,
the
non, pas
large
là.
door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Bon, je vais arrêter le live. Je vais arrêter là. Comment on arrête?